If I asked you to picture a farmer in the insect world, your mind would probably go straight to the leafcutter ant. For millions of years, they've been the poster child for non-human farming. We see their long, winding columns, each worker carrying a little piece of a leaf, and we think of them as the undisputed champs. They march, they build, they cultivate. It's an amazing story, and it's world famous. But what if I told you that story is wrong? Or at least wildly incomplete? What if the title of first farmer, or maybe even strangest farmer, doesn't belong to an ant at all? For over 60 million years, other insects have been secretly growing their own food, operating in total darkness and perfecting a style of agriculture that rivals anything an ant can do. And their story will change how you see the insect world forever. While ants were busy taking the spotlight, these other farmers were quietly building empires, mastering techniques humanity would only figure out tens of millions of years later. This is the story of the forgotten farmers. So, let's start our journey deep underground into the sprawling, complex world of termites. Now, you probably think you know termites. They're the little critters that eat wood, right? Well, not exactly. While many termites do eat wood, a super sophisticated group, the Macrotermitinae, gave that up a long time ago. They don't just eat wood, they use it to become master farmers. See, these termites can't properly digest the tough cellulose in plants on their own, so they came up with a brilliant workaround. They decided to domesticate their own food, a fungus. This isn't just some casual thing. It's one of the most advanced examples of symbiosis on the planet. The whole process is a marvel of engineering. First, older worker termites head out to forage for stuff like dead wood and dry grass. They chew it up, it passes through their gut, and when it comes out the other end, they've produced these tiny processed pellets. Younger worker termites, who are on nest duty, take these pellets and meticulously build what are known as fungus combs. These aren't just poop piles. They are perfectly engineered porous structures that work like a carefully prepped garden bed. Once the comb is built, the magic happens. The termites introduce the spores of a very specific fungus from the genus Termites. The fungus grows all through the comb, its little threads spreading out and feasting on the pre-digested plant matter. As the fungus breaks down the tough cellulose, it turns it into a nutrient-rich food packed with proteins and sugars that the termites can easily eat. The termites then feed on the older parts of the comb and also nibble on special mushroom-like growths that the fungus produces just for them. It's a perfect loop. The termites feed the fungus, and the fungus feeds the termites. This is so much more than just letting mold grow on scraps. The termites are active, dedicated farmers. They keep the nest incredibly clean, grooming their fungal gardens to keep them free of pests and weed fungi. They even use antimicrobial secretions to protect their crop and maintain the perfect humidity for it to grow, and they've been doing it for a very long time. Based on fossilized fungus combs found in Africa, scientists believe this unique partnership goes back at least 25 million years, making them some of the planet's oldest farmers. This single, revolutionary invention allowed them to spread from the rainforests to the dry savannas of Africa and Asia, becoming a dominant force responsible for much of the decomposition in those ecosystems. So, while leafcutter ants were doing their own thing in the New World, these termites were independently running a massive agricultural operation in the Old World. But termites aren't the only ones with a green thumb. An even more specialized, and maybe more bizarre, farmer drills its way to success. Okay, so termites run these huge, hidden fungal plantations. But our next farmer is even more bizarre. They're micromasters, tiny orchardists that live their entire lives inside their own farm. Meet the Ambrosia beetle, Now, this isn't one single species. It's a lifestyle adopted by thousands of different kinds of weevils. And just like the termites, they have a secret. Ambrosia beetles don't eat wood. They eat the fungus they grow on the wood. The process is one of the most specialized kinds of farming anywhere. When a female ambrosia beetle finds a good tree, usually one that's already stressed or dying, she doesn't just start munching. Instead, she starts digging. She bores a network of tunnels, called galleries, deep into the wood. But she doesn't show up empty-handed. In a brilliant evolutionary move, many ambrosia beetles have evolved special pockets on their bodies called michangia. Think of them as biological lunchboxes, used to carry the spores of their partner fungus. She is literally carrying a starter kit for her new farm. As she tunnels, she seeds the walls of the galleries with these spores. The fungus begins to grow, pulling nutrients from the wood and creating a lush, whitish garden that lines the tunnels. Early naturalists who saw this thought it looked like the mythical food of the gods, so they named it Ambrosia, giving us the beetle's name. This ambrosia fungus is the only thing the beetle and her kids eat. The larvae hatch inside the tunnels and are born in a pantry. They just graze on the fungal gardens lining their wooden nursery. What makes this true farming? The proof is in the work. Recent experiments show that ambrosia beetles are diligent farmers. They don't just spread spores and hope for the best. Studies have shown that when weed fungi are introduced, the beetles and their larvae actively work to remove them. They are literally weeding their crops. Their very presence shifts the whole environment inside the tunnels to favor their food fungus. This strategy is so effective that this kind of farming has evolved independently many times across the beetle family tree. It's a winning idea that nature just keeps coming back to. Get this, they've even turned a potential poison into an advantage. Many of these beetles are drawn to the ethanol produced by stressed trees. For most living things, ethanol is toxic, but for the ambrosia beetle, it's a signal, and the presence of ethanol in the wood can help their preferred fungus outcompete other microbes, giving their crop a crucial head start. Unlike the vast mounds of termites or the underground cities of ants, the ambrosia beetle's entire world is its farm. It's a hidden kingdom of agriculture, operating just beneath the bark. So, we have termites building fungal cities and tiny beetles turning trees into vertical farms. What does it all mean? Why does it matter that farming isn't just an ants game? The answer is a killer concept in biology: convergent evolution. It's the idea that totally unrelated organisms can independently come up with the same solution to a common problem. And agriculture, it turns out, is one of the best solutions out there. It's evolved independently in humans, many times in insects, and across the animal kingdom. The fact that termites in Africa, ants in South America, and beetles all over the world separately developed complex fungus farming tells us something profound. Farming isn't some quirky one-off invention. It's a fundamentally successful strategy that nature has discovered again and again. Think about what farming gives you: a stable, predictable food source. For these insects, it allowed them to escape the risky, day-to-day search for food. For termites, it unlocked the nutrients in dead plants they couldn't otherwise get, allowing them to become master decomposers that shape their entire environment. For ambrosia beetles, it allowed them to colonize a super-protected home, the inside of a tree, and turn solid wood into a productive farm. This pattern forces us to look beyond our own human-centric view. We tend to think of agriculture as our thing, something we invented around 12,000 years ago that sparked civilization. But these insects have us beat by tens of millions of years. While the oldest fossil evidence for termite farming is about 25 million years old, Genetic studies suggest that some ants may have started farming fungus as far back as 60 million years ago. They were the original agriculturalists, perfecting things like crop protection and weeding long before the first human ever picked up a hoe. By studying these insect societies, we're looking at parallel evolutionary tracks. We can see how they manage their crops, deal with pests, and how their transition to farming changed their societies and their impact on the planet. They are a living blueprint for how to build a civilization on agriculture, a story written not in stone, but in the tunnels and fungal combs of the insect world. The more we look, the more we find that the behaviors we thought were uniquely human, or at least unique to one famous group of ants, are actually all over the tree of life. These insect farmers offer a humbling perspective. They remind us that for tens of millions of years, complex societies have been thriving right under our feet and just beneath the bark, running on cultivation, symbiosis, and careful management. They are a testament to the incredible problem-solving power of evolution. They show us there are many ways to be a farmer, many paths to building a successful civilization, and maybe most importantly, they reveal that the world is filled with a staggering level of ingenuity that we are only just beginning to appreciate. The story of the insect farmer isn't just about ants or termites. It's about the universal drive to secure a future, to cultivate a home, and to make a living from the land, or in their case, the log. So the next time you see a fallen tree or a patch of dry grass, remember that it might not just be decaying. It might be a construction site. It might be a pantry. It might be a farm. And it proves that long before we ever planted a seed, the world was already filled with master agriculturalists, hidden in plain sight, their stories just waiting to be discovered.